1. Only provide your view.
I understand that. Donald was very fortunate in his life, and that's all to his benefit. He started his business with $14 million borrowed from his father, and he really believes.
One thing, and before we start on that, my father gave me a very small loan in 1975, and I built it into a company that's worth many, many billions of dollars with some of the greatest assets in the world.
Hillary tries to paint Trump as a lucky fat cat. But when Trump gives his own account of the events, he doesn't even mention Hillary's stories. You see, we people tend to remember stories, and we often confuse what's true and what we are supposed to believe, and everything gets muddled. So when informing people, give all the opposite views. When influencing the masses, then only tell the story you want them to remember. And like Trump did, make sure that it's the last thing they hear. 2. Turn a weakness into a strength.
And I say that only because that's the kind of thinking that our country needs. Our country's in deep trouble.
This is a very well-known concept in sales. Mentioning a drawback first and then turning it into a selling point. Trump positioned his vast riches as the product of his business acumen. Exactly, he says, what the country needs. 3. Get your enemy to agree.
It's been defective for a long time, many years, but the politicians haven't done anything about it. Now, in all fairness to Secretary Clinton, yes, is that okay? Good. I want you to be very happy.
Now, watch this. This is genius. He says, in all fairness to Hillary. Thus, he makes it sound as if he's extending an olive branch. With that, he gets Hillary to agree. Hillary nods, says yes, and even smiles. Hillary fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Now Trump looks like the leader, and Hillary looks like the follower. That's huge, and it's not even all. Now Trump's left hook is coming.
It's very important to me. But in all fairness to Secretary Clinton, when she started talking about this, it was really very recently. She's been doing this for 30 years. And why hasn't she made the agreements better? The NAFTA agreement is defective.
Boom. Here is the torpedo. She's been doing this for 30 years and still she couldn't hack it. That's a powerful framing there, and he even got Hillary's blessing on it. So lesson learned for you. When you're dealing with a power mover like Trump, think twice before agreeing. 4. Lure them in and then attack.
They're gone. And Hillary, I just ask you this. You've been doing this for 30 years. Why are you just thinking about these solutions right now? For 30 years you've been doing it, and now you're just starting to think of solutions.
Well, actually,
I will bring back jobs.
Trump says, I just ask you this, making it sound as if he were making a question. Hillary looks dumbfounded. She goes to reply, and immediately Trump stops her and overpowers her. Trump looks dominant, and Hillary, even recoiling, looks submissive and tentative. Now, of course, we cannot be sure this was planned in advance, but it does not change the fact that this was a huge and major win for Trump. 5. Speak over and see doubt.
You can't bring back jobs.
Well, actually, I have thought about this quite a bit.
Yeah, for 30 years.
I have, well, not quite that long.
Trump repeatedly intervenes on Hillary's speaking time and capitalizes on any occasion he can get. In this case, it was a pure genius retort. He's painting Hillary like she's been there forever and done nothing, and it's a huge mistake by Hillary in replying. First, she's acknowledging Trump in her speaking time when she should ignore him. Second, she's reacting to Trump, allowing him to set the agenda. And third, she looks like the follower, and Trump looks like the dominant figure.
I think my husband did a pretty good job in the 1990s. I think a lot about what worked and how we can make it work again.
Well, he approved
3 million
NAFTA.
new jobs,
He approved
a balanced
NAFTA,
budget,
which is the single worst trade deal ever approved in this country.
See, some commentators say that interrupting was a major mistake by Trump. I beg to differ. The effect of interrupting is that of undermining your opponent in real time. So in this example, Hillary has a good point. Of course Bill Clinton did some great stuff. But the real-time counter-argument does not allow that to settle in, because we are immediately reminded of NAFTA and its issues. So with Hillary, we never have the chance of going, aha, that's true. And that is exactly the effect of Trump's interruptions. They remove Hillary's chance of scoring a point. 6. Make your opponent defend.
New jobs.
Well, you haven't done it in 30 years or 26 years.
Well,
any number you
I've
want to
been
do.
a senator,
You haven't
Donald,
done it.
and
You haven't
I
done
have
it.
been a
And excuse
Secretary
me,
of State, and I have
your
done
husband signed
a lot.
NAFTA, which was one of the worst things that ever happened
Well,
to the
that's your
manufacturing
opinion.
industry.
That is your
You go
opinion.
to New England, you go to Ohio, Pennsylvania.
That is just not accurate. I was against it once it was finally negotiated and the terms were laid out. I wrote about that in...
You called it the
I
gold
wrote
standard.
Well, I hope...
You called it the gold standard of trade
And
deals. You
you know
said it's
what?
the finest deal you've ever seen.
No.
And then you heard what I said about it, and all of a sudden you were against it.
Well, Donald, I know you live in your own reality, but
Oh, yeah.
that is not the facts. The facts are, I did say I hoped it would be a good deal, but when it was negotiated,
Not.
which I was not responsible for, I concluded it wasn't. I wrote about that.
So is it President
in my
Obama's
book
fault?
before
Is it President Obama's
you
fault?
even
Trump is constantly able to back Hillary against the wall and make her defend and explain. You will often see Hillary reply that Trump's accusations are not true or simply his opinion, which is true, but still she goes on and explains. Trump is a master influencer. Arguing with fact and rationality with guys like him is a losing strategy. Simply by aggressing and by making Hillary explain, Trump gives the viewer the feeling that he is in control and that Hillary is at fault. Get the last word. Don't let her win.
I have a feeling that by the end of this evening, I'm going to be blamed for everything that's ever happened.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, why not? Just join the debate by saying more crazy things. Now, let me say,
Hey, there's nothing crazy about not letting our companies bring their money back into their country.
Have you noticed what just happened here? Clinton makes a great joke, and Trump finally looks silly. Hillary was scoring a major point by framing Trump as a nonsense talker. And what does Trump do? He charges back on and gets in the last word. Now, why is that important? It's important because we usually remember what happened last, not what happened in the middle. So by putting in the last word, Trump largely negates Clinton's win. Trump does look overly aggressive here, and he does look butthurt as well, but it's a minor price to pay compared to being stuck with the label of talking nonsense. 8. When they go high, you go low.
Mr. Trump,
Typical politician, all talk, no action, sounds good, doesn't work, never going to happen. Our country is suffering because people like Secretary Clinton.
Most political dark horses around the world win by riding the wave of mass discontent. In this particular case, instead of defending trickle-down economics, which is pretty much indefensible, Trump attacks Clinton for being a politician. You see, emotions trump logic. When they go high, you go low. That's what really works. 9. Hide your problem behind their problem.
We have a situation in this country that has to be taken care of. I will release my tax returns against my lawyer's wishes when she releases her 33,000 emails that have been deleted. As soon as she releases them, I will release my tax returns.
This is another Fox's lie move here. The truth is that Trump doesn't really know how to get out of the tax release issue in full honesty, so he cushions his problem under Clinton's problem. By saying that he will release his returns once she releases her emails, he's putting the screws on Hillary and he's making the tax issue seem smaller than the email issue. And now it seems like the only way to see Trump's returns is to actually see Hillary's emails. The buck has been passed. Genius move. Thank you for watching. And watch out for sly foxes.